Hey guys, so today's going to be an experiment-filled day. We have a tree in our backyard and ended up with a lot of these loquat fruits, and as I was thinking to myself, how are we going to use these up before they go bad? I thought of a cinnamon roll, and maybe having some fruit rolled up in the middle, maybe a new way of making a fruit roll-up. I don't really know. Also, our oven is still broken, but who cares? Let's just go! You might be wondering, what is a loquat? Well, when you type it into Google, it says it's a tree native to China, citrus-like fruit, something with variety, and, still loquat in English, and, wow, called a Japanese plum. Who knew? Time to start peeling. My family does this by cutting the fruit into fourths. It kind of creates an outline that makes it a little bit easier to take off the skin. We're going to take off the stem and work our way down. I recommend using a knife over your fingers though, because it will stain your fingers a little bit, just like how bananas and potatoes and apples turn brown. These fruits also do brown a little bit, and we're going to take off the skin from the inside of the fruit. Why is there skin on the inside? I don't know. I just knew I didn't want to use it. Once all your fruit is peeled, we're going to get down to the most dangerous part of the recipe. Get your knife and start cutting it up. Please ignore that piece of fruit on my finger. Now we're going to add heat. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cups of loquat. Next is a tablespoon of lemon juice, half a teaspoon cinnamon, half a cup of Splenda, and a pinch of salt. Now, I don't know how to explain this, but somehow as you kept cooking, the loquat got brighter. It got more yellow. I don't know. I'm fascinated by it, and I think it's really cool. After 26 minutes, I felt like I was done reducing it. It got a little less liquidy, and it looked something like this. Next, we're going to separate the remaining liquid from the fruit. Grab a bowl and a strainer. Pour your mixture into there. Grab a spoon, mix it around a little bit, and wow, look at that flavorful juice that we're going to activate our yeast with. I used about 1.5 teaspoons. This yeast is really old, but you work with what you got. Grab a separate bowl. I did 1, 2, 3, 4 cups of whole wheat flour, half a cup of Splenda, a pinch of salt, 1 egg, 1/3 cup of margarine, and our yeast mixture. Moving to a less shaky filming area, I mixed everything in the bowl together, added about 1/3 cup of milk, and at a tablespoon at a time, I added my water until I got the right dough consistency that I was looking for. And we're being cautious because there have been too many times where I've tried making dough, added too much liquid, and regretted everything. Because at that point, you need so much flour to try to make up for it. So we're looking for something that's soft and squishy, but not too sticky. As you can see, it's soft, it's pliable, but it's not sticking everywhere. Okay, and I'm going to cheat a little because I have a bread machine. So I put on the dough setting. It was kneading very nicely. It was going to be proofed and be perfect until I gave into the temptation of adding more flavor. My bad. So if your dough is looking sticky like this, please add flour. And if it's looking like this, please add flour. Because we need a dough that is sturdy enough to handle the rolling process. Once our dough is kneaded and proofed, on a clean working surface, I put flour. Then you can put your dough there. Make sure to get flour on both sides, and with a rolling pin, roll it out into the best rectangle that you possibly can. Get your fruit mixture, spread it around, and now it's time to roll it up. There's no shame in needing some help, so I utilize this little dough thing. Using the same tool, we're going to start cutting out our rolls, and wait, how many is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 2. 16! We're going to have 16 of these honestly pretty big loquat rolls, and we're going to reshape them, make them a little nice, make them really presentable, and let's just be honest, they're just circles. Going back to the no oven thing, I'm going to actually cook these 3 different ways. So this first batch is going to be in a toaster oven, only 4 of them. Next, this circular pan that I found, I'm going to cook in something called a New Wave oven. My mom bought it on an infomercial a while back. I don't remember how long ago. And our third batch is actually going to be an air fryer. And I ended up squishing them again to make them fit. And yeah, those are our 3 different batches. They just need a proof. Our first batch is in the toaster oven. This oven was like $20, and I set it to the bake setting. I have no idea what temperature that is, but 20 minutes later, got a little too toasty at the bottom. I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty surprised that it was actually working and got too hot. So I switched it to broil. 15 to 20 minutes later, turned it off, and honestly, I thought it was looking pretty decent. Let's investigate a little further. We can see that the outside looks nice and crispy. The fruit looks pretty caramelized. Bottom, definitely way too toasty. But as we open up the middle, take a look at that gorgeous steam. So nice. Overall, I would say that the toaster oven gets the job done. It's overall very decent. Outside nice and crispy. Middle retains a good amount of moisture. Contestant number 2, the New Wave oven. I set it to 350, the highest temperature, cooked it for about 40 minutes, and at this point, I wasn't sure if it was done or not. So I did what the internet told me to do, and that was to turn the bread upside down, tap on the bottom, and try to hear for like a hollow sound. I didn't know, so I decided to cut a piece out, and oh my gosh, by far the best method. If you have a New Wave oven, please bake with it. But I still wasn't sure if it was done, so I decided to cut the middle out very clumsily. But yeah, so moist in the middle, so good, 100% recommend. And do not get your hopes up for contestant number 3 because the air fryer was not made for this. I didn't even use most of my footage because you could see me and it wasn't cute and it's super shiny for some reason. Anyways, started off by spraying the inside with nonstick coating. Didn't use parchment paper because I didn't want to disrupt the airflow. I let it cook for about 45 minutes on 200 degrees and it ended up looking like this. Like this. It just didn't look right. Yeah, it was kind of squishy, but it didn't look like it was supposed to. It wasn't even steaming. Bottom was all messed up. Look at these weird little bread nubs from the bottom of the pan. And as I break it open, look at how just dense it is. It was definitely raw. You could see that it's just squishing and not springing back. So I cooked it longer and I cooked it upside down and checked on it quite a few times, and every time I checked on it, it just was not right. The outside was way too crispy, way too hard, and the middle was still raw. Look at how it just leaves those fingerprints in there. It was so disappointing, and I ended up having a batch looking like this. But don't worry, I didn't waste it. I made bread pudding the next day. In conclusion, if you don't have a working oven but you do have a New Wave oven or a toaster oven, give it a shot. And thank you for joining me in this experiment of trying to cook loquat in unconventional ways. You don't have to use whole wheat flour or Splenda. I just try to use ingredients that will help my family a little bit more, spike blood sugar a little bit less, but yeah, you don't have to. Thanks again for watching, and bye!